Alright, this is Weapon X Reacts and we're back with another video, and this is going to be a review of The Place Beyond the Pines. And to me, this film is one of the most powerful movies I have ever seen in my life, as it's a meditation on the themes of redemption, fatherhood, and the passing of the torch. And I really think that this is one of the best films Derek Cian France has ever directed. And I even heard that he based the film off his experiences of being a father. And it's also a movie that shows how young people can get manipulated when they are at their worst, which is something we see with Jason as the film goes on, and I totally recommend you go check it out, as it's easily one of the most underrated movies ever made. And it isn't just a crime movie, but an emotionally complex drama that needs more attention. And I just want to let you know that there will be a lot of spoilers in this review. I'm gonna break down the plot of this film. So, a stunt writer turns to a life of crime in order to provide for his newborn son and his lover, which grabs the attention of a police officer, and they both get on a collision course that affects both their families. And Ryan Gosling did such an amazing job as Luke Lanton. And one thing that I liked about his performance is that it made me realize that he is easily one of the best actors working in Hollywood today. And it just shows that he is really good at playing characters who are complex, which is something we see a lot in his other movies like Blade Runner 2049 and Drive. But here, Luke Lanton has one of the most tragic but compelling character arcs I have ever seen in a film, as he is a man who wanted to provide for his family by quitting his job just so he can rob banks. And he thinks that this will make his life better, but really it doesn't, as it causes him to lose the relationship he had with his girlfriend and getting killed by Avery. And I just want to say that the scene of where he dies is really intense, as it just shows how manipulation can destroy a person's life. And to me, the fact that he was only in the first 50 minutes of the film is just so well done, as it was more about how his bad decisions impacted the life of his son later on. And it makes me realize that we just don't see movies like this anymore. And overall, Ryan Gosling fucking killed it in this film. And to me, I think Luke Lanton is a well-written character, as he was someone who just wanted to be a better person by providing for his kid, all at the cost of losing his life. And not just that, but he became a victim of his own environment. Also, I thought Dane DeHaan did a good job as Jason Glanton. And in the film, his character is portrayed as someone who isn't sure about his place in the world. And one thing that's interesting about him is that he has a deep connection to his father, even if he never knew him as a person. Like how they both shared the same love of riding motorbikes and committed crimes. Almost like Luke Lanton lived through his son, even in death. And we see this of where he rides his bike after putting on his father's glasses. And it is a powerful scene, as it shows how he is trying to continue the legacy Luke Lanton passed down onto him. And overall, This is easily the best performance I have ever seen from Dane DeHaan. And it's a role of where I realized just how good of an actor he really is. And I was introduced to him in The Amazing Spider-Man 2, and I really thought his talent was wasted in that film. Even if it was actually pretty good. Eva Mendes gave a great performance as Romina, and I thought the chemistry between her character and Luke Lanton was just so well written. And I even heard that this is the movie of where Ryan Gosling and Eva Mendes got into a relationship with each other in real life. And to me, she makes Romina someone who is complex and emotionally damaged from the decisions Luke Lanton made, which didn't just affect her life, but her family's life. And to me, I really think that this is one of her best roles, and she brought so much to this movie. And I just want to say that this film is just an absolute masterclass when it comes to the acting performances. Because everyone here does such a good job in their roles. And you even see this with Bradley Cooper as Avery. And to me, I really think that this is one of the most underrated performances of his entire career as an actor. And he does a great job of making you feel sympathy for his character, as he is someone who is very successful, but haunted by the guilty feels of when he killed Luke Lanton. And as the film ends, he tries to find redemption from all of it. And overall, Avery Cross is one of the most compelling characters in this film. And Bradley Cooper did an amazing job playing him. And I even heard that he nearly left the set of the film all because the script was being rewritten. And he is basically a mirror image of Luke Lanton, as they both made decisions that impacted the lives of their kids. I thought the scene with Luke Lanton in the church was really good, and I just want to say that Ryan Gosling's acting in the scene is really powerful, as it shows just how bad he wants to provide for his child. And it's one of the main reasons of why I like him as an actor. It's because he does such a great job of showing emotion without even saying anything. And I even heard that his character was originally supposed to cause a scene in the church, but instead he started to tear up. And to me, I think it made the scene even way better and more emotional than what it was supposed to be. Ray Liotta did a great job as DeLuca, even if he wasn't in the movie very much. And I thought the scene of where him and his team is shown getting caught is easily one of the most intense scenes in the film. And what makes it so intense is that you don't even expect it to happen. Also, I thought Ben Mendelsohn gave a great performance as Luke Lanton's employer, Ruben. And to me, I think that this is one of the best performances I have ever seen from him, as he brought so much to the role. And he made this film what it is, a masterpiece. And I thought his character in this movie was actually kind of compelling. Emery Cohen did a pretty good job playing AJ, as he is someone who is a great example of a teenager who is entitled. And not just that, but he was also desperate for his father's approval. And to me, this performance just shows you how underrated Emery Cohen is as an actor. Because he made this character a complete, unlikable prick. This is the rating that this film got on Rotten Tomatoes, so 79% from the critics and 75% from the audience. And I'm gonna be reading out the reviews right now, so for the first review, a powerful, towering, yet intimately told epic with excellent performances, a unique structure, and a story told with as much passion and angst as the Myrad sons in the film. For the second one, bleak, raw, epic, and vibrating with energy. The Place Beyond the Pines is a film to haunt your dreams. And so far, the best thing I've seen in the cinema in 2013. And that is something I most definitely agree with, and as I read those reviews, it's nice seeing a film like this getting the praise it deserves. I'm going to explain the ending of this film. So, after realizing that Avery killed his father, Jason breaks into his house, and just as Avery comes home, Jason takes him hostage and forces him to drive into a forest, where he is held at gunpoint, and then Avery breaks down crying and apologizes to Jason, where he decides to forgive Avery for what he did while looking at the picture of his father. And I think the reason on why he made this decision is because he didn't want to let his father's bad decisions define who he is right now. And he realizes that revenge won't bring him peace. So he lets Avery live. And then after that, Avery finds a path at redemption and gets elected, with his son watching him. And then we see a shot of Romina holding the picture and reflects on the time she had with Luke Glanton. And the film ends with Jason riding his motorcycle on the open road. And to me, this was a perfect and emotional ending to a film like this, because when you look at the opening scene, for example, it shows Luke Glanton riding into a cage. Well, here it shows Jason riding to start a new life. Dude, this film was so good. Imagine seeing a film like this getting made by Hollywood today. It will just not be the same. I thought the soundtrack was just haunting, and it fits perfectly with the film's tone. And I'm gonna show you an example of it right now. Also, one thing I forgot to say is that the camera work of this film is just something else. Yeah? No thanks, I'm alright. This film was so powerful. And it gets better every single time you watch it. This film just hits hard every single time. Trust me, this film, it's a masterpiece. The directing. Derek Cianfrance did such a good job making this movie. And I even heard that he's making a new film starring Channing Tatum. I thought it looked interesting. And if you haven't seen Derek Cianfrance's other movies, I really think you should. Like Blue Valentine. That movie is just so depressing. As it's about two lovers who get into a relationship with each other and then they break up. It's not your typical romance movie where it just ends with a happy ending. And it's also another film with Ryan Gosling. Very well acted. And here in this film, it's like a whole other level. And also, I thought Rose Byrne did a pretty good job with what she's been given, even if her time on screen was just so low. The cinematography was absolutely amazing, and one thing I liked about it is how it makes every scene feel immersive and realistic, especially when it comes to the use of natural lighting, which I thought was just so well done, and to me, it fits perfectly with what this film was trying to say. And I thought that shot with Luke Glanton on his motorcycle looking at the bank is easily one of the best shots I have ever seen in a film. Also, in conclusion, this was an amazing film as it's just so well written and directed. And it's a film we just don't see from Hollywood anymore. As it's more about pushing woke nonsense above telling a good story, and that's what The Place Beyond the Pines is. It has a good story, and we need more films like this, especially in an age of where everything is either a remake or a sequel, and nowadays it feels like there is just no effort put into movies anymore. Because if you look at the films that came out before, they were much better. Well, right now, it's just not the same, and this movie is just so worth watching. And trust me, it's going to be an experience you will never forget, as this is a movie that speaks to you, and that is just one of the main reasons of why its message on the lives of fatherhood is just so powerful. Also, anyway, that's all I got for today. Go away now, and always remember, strike back like a weapon against wokeness.